Today, we're in Judge Patrick Conlin's courtroom in Washtenaw County, Michigan. Appearing in the blue plaid dress and the pink hair from Washtenaw County Jail is the defendant, Deardra Woods. She's not happy with the way the criminal justice system works, and because she thoroughly understands all of it better than her so-called public pretender, she's gonna let the judge know it.
Or do you want to open county?
Ms. Woods, can you hear us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we are here today on a sentencing. Is that what everyone's expecting we're doing?
Yes.
And a pretrial. So are we gonna do the sentencing or are we gonna do them all together at once?
I think the plan was to see if we could maybe kind of wrap everything all together.
Right.
I did make an offer in regards to the pretrial matter, but candidly, I'm kind of at a loss for what to do with this. And that's where I'm trying to like figure out. I don't know that I'm ever going to have a constructive answer. Things going well, and then maybe.
And Your Honor, I had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Woods, and I think Ms. Woods is going to want to address the court today as well. Her primary concern or the issue that she has is, I think the fact that this sentencing is coming so far away from the date that she actually pled is causing a little bit of confusion for Ms. Woods. She was under the impression that the agreement was an all-encompassing global resolution. When I explained to her that the PSIR that we currently have is only for the March date offense, she is hoping now, if we're able to resolve all of these matters collectively, that His Honor would be at least willing to consider running everything together, because this particular offense would give her a time served, or the sentencing for the March offense would give her a time served sentence after It's all said and done. But then we'd be right back into a new boat with the September offense.
Well, I'm gonna just, so Mr. Emmons, you may or may not get better, like with this defendant and any other defendant. So the fact of the matter is, it does make sense to me, try to wrap it all together.
Right.
I don't know that it does Ms. Woods any good. It doesn't do us any good for me to sentence her to time served. You may be released, but you really can't be released because there's another pending trial.
Correct.
So I guess, but I also don't want to adjourn this out 2 months, to let her sit there while we sort of mess around with what's going to happen in that. So hold that thought, and that let me just sort of, yes, I want to hear from you. I do. But let me just ask a question to the lawyers first, and then I'll hear from you. But like, what more do we need to sort of get to the bottom of the pretrial issue so that it could be either, her bond condition could change potentially and we adjourn the sentencing and decide that, or maybe she pleads and do immediate sentence on both. Like, what do we need to get to the bottom of on that pretrial, if anything?
Honestly, my recommendation would be, I made the offer. I have not run the guidelines on that new offer as to what it would be, but I'm essentially saying if she wants to plead to a malicious destruction of 1 to 20 and an account of A and B, that she can plead to those counts. I don't know what the guidelines are going to be, and maybe at that point in time we just do a COPS. I've tried to work with her to keep her away from like going to prison, but I keep coming back to this issue where I have problems with her in the community. We released her and she did fairly well for a good period of time, and then she picked up a new charge. And that's the problem, right? Like, I don't want to spin my wheels for 3 months of doing good, and that's not the moment. I got to consider there's a very real likelihood that there's going to be more victims if I release her, or if we put her on supervised probation. But if there's something else, I'm always willing to listen to alternatives, on how we can keep the public safe. If there's some kind of plan, or whatever, I'm always open. I don't know what to do.
And Your Honor, Ms. Woods is concerned, her concern is just basically not having a sentencing agreement, or at least a knowledge of what the sentencing would be on the new case, which we would just, I think we'd land at a COBS, because we couldn't land at a sentencing agreement by far. We would just be landing at a COBS. I know that if we were to have her plead on the new case, I have let her know what the recommendation is, or the offer from the people. If we pled on the new case, if the court is inclined to do immediate sentencing on it to close both cases out, I'm sure that it's a victim's rights case, so we can't do that. We did talk about that.
The problem is that, I mean, I while I might have some interest in doing that, this isn't, there are 4 counts, so she's potentially pleading to 2. That's significant enough that we'd have to have another PSIR. Probably.
Okay.
Solve it. Because it's victim rights. It's not an insignificant thing.
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
Ms. Woods, what are your thoughts? I mean, don't talk about the potential.
First of all, Your Honor, I wrote you 3 months ago. You agreed to that my cases could be bumped up. Therefore, you never wrote me back, and if you did, they didn't give me the letter. Mr. Feaster got off my case. Therefore, everything you even said that you was going to come to a global resolution. The prosecuting attorneys and my so-called defending attorney or public pretender, they don't have rights to overstep their boundaries, but you as a trained judge and a licensed judge with this being your career. But I don't, my housing is at risk. I made phone calls to Mr. Feaster. Miss Woods, where, all of a sudden you got your people answering the phones and playing games over there. My housing is at risk. I'll stay on my medication while I'm in jail. I stay on my medication while I'm at CMH. What's the problem? And what's the problem? I called Miss Shanaza this morning. She didn't answer the phone. She told me to call her this morning as far as it goes with her taking care of some other issues that I needed her for. Lo and behold, I have another case set for February 12th. So that's in 2 weeks from now. I'm asking you I have plenty of, I've been in and out of jail. My jail credits is what, from January or February of last year up until now. And if you're running on concurrent, I got time served. You were supposed to come to a global resolution. I'm asking you to step up and be a judge and be fair. I can do probation. I don't have a problem with paying you. I refuse to be homeless and put through a revolving door.
What's happening on February 12th?
Excuse me?
What's happening on February 12th?
Yeah. In front of Judge Barr, I do. And I'm quite sure he's going to give me probation for this case. But as long as you keep holding me back, I can't move. My hands are tied.
So that's totally unrelated, man.
It's completely. That's correct.
It's not like a bind over though. Yeah. Okay, well, what would the public? I don't know what to say, Ms. Woods, or to your lawyer. Like we're trying to do this, but you sort of you said I promised to bump things up. Like,
yes, you did. You did.
No, and Your Honor, if I may,
you weren't my attorney at the time. If you ask Mr. Feaster, he said 3 or 4 months ago before the Christmas holiday. Last time I sat in front of you, Your Honor, Judge Conlin, you said, your case can be bumped up. I wrote you 1 letter, and you never responded before the Christmas holiday. I had to wait over 3 months. I've been in case in and out of jail for over a year now. I got over 60-something days time served.
Right.
And plus so, Your Honor, what that I had before in the system.
What Ms. Woods is saying, Your Honor, there was a time where Ms. Woods had reached out to our office trying to see if there was a resolution that could be reached. And it was during, when we scheduled this particular date, we said if we could reach a resolution prior to then, we would be able to get her onto the docket to put in that plea. However, we hadn't reached a resolution because we were working on a global resolution that would encompass that 14A2 matter as well. The attorney from 14A2 matter did reach out to all of the parties involved. Mr. Emmons made his recommendation clear. We hadn't heard back from what was going to happen with the 14A2 prosecutor to see if we were going to be able to bundle everything together. So I do understand her frustration, Your Honor, because she was under the impression that this date was going to be a date that was going to encompass at least all of her circuit court matters. And since we have not entered a plea on it, I don't know what probation would be able to do in regards to a PSIR within a reasonable amount of time.
But we're not really ready to enter a plea right now.
I've talked to Ms. Woods about entering a plea. Ms. Woods, are you prepared to
This is
enter
why
a plea
riots
today?
happen. This is why motherfucking courthouses get blown off the motherfucking map.
So can we mute? Yeah, so
Okay, Ms. Woods, I don't really quite know even what to make of that. So we're gonna, I guess, adjourn this.
Your Honor, why
That's gonna
you
potentially
keep
result
my
in a
case?
charge
It was
right
sitting-
there.
One was today was supposed to be
Ms.
sentencing for one.
Woods, I'm
Sentence
just
me on
gonna,
one and go ahead and give me time served or probation for the other one. You never trust me. I don't even know you.
Miss,
I just think before I hear any more, I'm gonna step out for a minute. I'm gonna let you have a chat. I'm not gonna say, I'm not like, nobody has to vacate the courtroom, but I don't, like, if I hear any more, like,
Yeah.
I just think we're getting into new chargeable material
sure,
here. So
absolutely.
I'll be right back. You let me know when we're.
I know it ain't gonna just be a bitch ass.
Can we get in a breakout
on the
room?
bench?
Thank you.
Should have let Shanaka sit on my case anyway. She's the one invited. She don't know nothing about my case. That's why I always recommend Judge Feaster to be my fucking attorney.
She got promoted. No, that's me. I'll have to step down from school board. I'll take it, right?
That took a turn.
She said,
You know?
she said, you keep doing this.
Like she was fine, and then all of a sudden I heard it, and I was like, "Wait, what?
That's what the
What
judge-
did I miss in between?"
So unclear what we're gonna do today. Thoughts?
Yes, Judge. Torshio Feaster, Assistant Public Defender, standing in for Ms. Woods. Your Honor, I did have a chance to speak to Ms. Woods during the break. Thank you for giving us that opportunity. There seems to be scheduling issues as a result of some of her medications there in the jail. I'm going to make the call and try and make sure we get her on the right cycle to try to make sure she has what she needs, Your Honor. If we can just go out 1 or 2 weeks, I talked to Mr. Emmons about this. I think we'll be able to work out a global resolution. And Ms. Woods obviously apologizes for any comments she made that were inappropriate, Your Honor.
Can we make any deals like as far as what I should be expecting next for in 2 weeks from now? Because I really need to pay my rent. If not, I'm gonna be homeless, and that just caused me another issue.
I got you.
apologize.
You got my number, Ms. Woods. I'm in court tomorrow morning, but call me in the afternoon and we can work it out, okay?
Around what time?
I should be out of court by noon.
After about 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock is great. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right, so we'll see you back here on the 12th of February.
Thank you, Judge.
1:30 p.m.
Thank you so much. Ms. Woods, call tomorrow. We'll start getting this worked out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You have to respect a judge who knows when to walk away. Judge Conlin showed some very good restraint, and as it turned out, the very capable public defender at whom Ms. Woods threw shade was the very same man who wound up saving her ass from an extra 93. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy watching this content, please like and subscribe. It helps new channels like this one gain exposure. There is a lot more good court to come, so if you like what you saw, tell your friends. If you didn't, tell me, and let me know what you'd like to see and how I can improve. Thanks.